Uh-oh, welcome back to Nails Before Films. It's your favorite Disgrace to Society here with another movie review. Although Halloween is over, I'll be reviewing Smile 2 today. I really like the first Smile. I think it's a very clever way to explore what trauma and guilt do to us. I'm happy to say that Smile 2 is a really solid sequel. It's even better than the first movie in some way. It's well written, the visuals are impressive, and most importantly, it's scary. Let's get into it. Smile 2 continues from the end of the first movie. Joel, who was infected by the curse, tries to pass it on to a criminal by killing another criminal in front of him. However, he accidentally kills both of them, and a drug dealer witnesses the event. Joel is then run over by a car as he runs away. It's a bit sad that he's killed almost immediately. I really like him from the first movie. He was willing to help his ex and was the only one who believed that she was cursed. It's a shame that he still dies after passing on the curse, but at the same time, it shows that sometimes death is inevitable. Besides, at least we get to know what happens to him. He isn't just killed off screen and the curse randomly passes on to the drug dealer. Anyway, the drug dealer happens to know a pop star, Sky Riley, who was badly injured in a car accident a year ago, which also killed her boyfriend. Sky is preparing for her comeback tour, but she's infected by the curse when she goes to the drug dealer for painkillers. Similar to the last movie, Sky then starts seeing people smiling creepily at her, and her past comes back to haunt her. As the entity gains control over her, it becomes increasingly difficult to tell what's real. Sky eventually succumbs to the entity and kills herself on stage, passing on the curse to everyone at her concert. Smile 2 is honestly a very effective horror movie, and it seriously messes with your head. By the end of the movie, you'll question which parts are real. It is relatively easy to tell reality from hallucinations in the first movie until the third act, but Smile 2 sneakily weaves in hallucinations throughout the whole film. You start doubting almost everything that happens in the movie. For example, is Morris, the unknown texter, even real? Are the texts and their meeting real, or is the entity just messing with Sky? Did someone really trash Sky's dressing room? Was there really a creepy fan at her meet and greet? Did Sky really knock off the old lady at the charity event? Is that event even real? Some hallucinations are easier to guess, like Sky's mom getting killed at the wellness center, but you're never 100% sure. The wellness center part is fishy because the entity can't really kill anyone other than the host, and it's weird how easy it is for Sky to fire the security guard's gun. But it's also possible that parts of that scene are real, so the line between reality and hallucination is really blurred in Smile 2. A second watch of this movie would definitely be beneficial, and knowing some parts are fake will likely change the way I perceive the story. The entity is genuinely a cruel, terrifying, and cunning horror villain, not because of its gory appearance in the end, but how it knows what's inside your head, what you fear the most, and how it gives you false hope. From the first movie, it always pretends to be defeated at first, only to reveal right at the end that you can't beat it. It knows that this will break you thoroughly, and it's really evil and smart of it to pretend that Gemma has forgiven Sky because it knows she's the one Sky cares about the most. But what I love the most about the concept of Smile is that the movies explore the effect trauma has on people through this supernatural entity, and how it especially affects those who have unresolved secret guilt in the past. Everything the entity uses against Sky is what she already fears or believes. She's actually uncomfortable with all the fame and attention. She believes that no one really loves her. Everyone only cares about her as the pop star. She's a terrible person. She only hurts the people around her, and I think she believes that she doesn't deserve a second chance. This is what guilt does to us in real life. It convinces us that no one will ever love us because we're horrible people, but that's often not true. Take Sky, for example. It's true that she's done something wrong, and I don't think she deserved a second chance so easily. She should have gone to jail for what she did, but at the same time, she is genuinely trying to better herself. No matter how the entity messes with her, she doesn't turn to drugs or alcohol. She seems genuinely sorry for what she did to Gemma and regrets getting Paul killed too. But because she never really faces the consequences of her action and never admits what she's done, she's forever trapped with her guilt, and the entity uses this to torture her. The people around her aren't much help either. Her mom pressures her to keep going instead of slowing down and get to know what's troubling her. Her concerns about Sky's musical career are of course valid, but it's also true that she acts more as her manager than her mother. The only one she could talk to was her friend Gemma, but by the time she apologizes to her and tries to make amends, it's too late. Smile also shows us that guilt and trauma doesn't go away with time. They consume us bit by bit if we don't face them. By the time we notice it, damages may have already been done and it might be too late. The most important part of Smile 2 is definitely the protagonist, Sky Riley. Naomi Scott is amazing as this young singer who's struggling to improve herself and is forced to face her demons. She's so convincing as a pop star, the songs genuinely sound like pop, and the tour rehearsals look like a real concert. When she's not being a celebrity, Scott also does a great job showing how disturbed and guilt-ridden Sky is. I really like Sky's speech at the charity event. It's a great demonstration of how money and fame doesn't fix everything and even amplifies our problems. Sky is as successful as a person can be, but she's extremely unhappy. Underneath all the glam, she's a broken person like anyone else. This concept isn't new, but it works well with the idea of Smile. Smile 2 doesn't just rehash the first movie, which focuses on solving the Smile mystery and defeating the entity. We only get to know more about Rose along the way. Instead, Sky knows nothing about the curse. A guy just randomly kills himself in front of her. The film focuses more on how Sky deals with her fears and guilt while getting back into the spotlight. The complexity of Sky's life as a celebrity makes Smile 2 a very different film from its predecessor, and I like how the movie only briefly explains the entity during the second act. It doesn't take too much time explaining to us what we already know, and spends most of the time exploring Sky's character and building tension. Despite this being a sequel, Smile 2 still keeps the audiences on the edge of their seats. The movie does have jump scares, but they are very effective and not overused. Almost everyone got scared when Sky was looking at Louis' video on her phone and the camera cuts to Louis standing right beside her. Most of the time, especially at the beginning, there aren't many jump scares and the film gradually builds up this unsettling feeling through the eerie smiles. The gore is also amazing. I think the film achieves a well-balanced mix of gore and psychological horror. However, I wasn't a fan of the entity's monster form in the first movie, and I still don't like it in this one. For me, the entity is scary because it can be anyone, it's everywhere. I think making it a gory, scary monster is too straightforward and feels out of place in a movie that shines the most as a psychological horror film. The design is impressive, and I understand they want a memorable creature in the end, but I just don't find it scary. Other than that, Smile 2 is very good at creating an intense, scary atmosphere, making it a great horror film. That's basically my thoughts on Smile 2. I personally find this one to be even more memorable than the first. It manages to expand on the idea of smile and even increases the intensity. However, the first movie is definitely more refreshing in its creative way of presenting trauma and guilt as a supernatural curse. I had a lot of fun watching Smile 2 and couldn't stop thinking about it for days, which is something a good movie should do. Hope you guys like my review and Smile nails. For those who don't know, we call the line for a French nail a smile line, which is why I used smiles for the French tips. And this one is just a red French on matte black. I know this set is a bit simple, but I like how creepy the smiles turned out to be. As always, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, comment, share, do what you want. Follow me on other social media if you like. Links are in the description. Keep nailing it and stay hydrated, people.